Let's start off in Borno, where the state government has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening security across the state, and that's to guarantee a peaceful and security environment for residents. Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Usman Tar, highlighted what he describes as a measurable progress in stabilizing communities once rattled by insurgency. Senior reporter Jesse Tafida has details.
Once a theater of turbulence, Borno now breathes a cautious but confident calm. Streets that once echoed with uncertainty are gradually finding their rhythm again. According to the Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Usman Tar, the state is enjoying relative peace, with mass displaced persons returning to liberated communities to rebuild their lives. He attributes this shift to what he describes as the joint strides of Governor Babagana Zulum, particularly in providing sustained logistics and operational support to security agencies.
And Borno State too was in a total state of chaos, so much so that government had to declare a state of emergency under former President Goodluck Jonathan. I'm happy to report that today we are doing better. All the displaced communities, 60–70% have been returned back to their ancestral homes and counting. So Borno is doing very well under Governor Zulum.
He notes that governance and security have moved in lockstep with vehicles, equipment, and other critical resources deployed strategically to enhance operational effectiveness.
The nexus between development, peace, and security has already been established in theory and in practice. So in Borno State too, and indeed Nigeria, we need to get security right. We need to get it right. People should sleep with both eyes closed. People should be free to move about.
Professor Usman Tar commended the Nigerian Army and other security operatives for recent successes recorded under the leadership of Major General Abdusalam Abubakar. Development, the Commissioner adds, is now progressing more efficiently because security provides the foundation upon which infrastructure, healthcare, and education can thrive. In essence, stability has become the swell from which progress is growing. The government now wants residents to remain vigilant and report suspicious movements to security agencies, stressing that community cooperation remains critical in consolidating the gains achieved so far. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
We have our senior reporter Jesse Tafida standing by now. Jesse, this report is a contrast to the alarm raised by the governor sometime in 2025 about some movement by insurgents in Borno and asking for the deployment of military personnel to the state, or more deployment. What has changed between then and now?
Well, Precious, it's good to note that after that outcry by the governor, the federal government immediately key in with what he said and, continue to beef up security in Borno and across the state. We could see what the recent success is, what the Nigerian army has been doing recently. From the past 3-4 weeks, we could see that they continue to deal decisively with elements of insurgency, not only in the state, but, in some bits of forest. And we see a large number of insurgents being killed, their ammunition being seized by the Nigerian military under Operation Hurricane. It's a joint operation, not only the Nigerian army, but the Air Force is there, the police is there, the civilian JTF, NSCDC, and everybody is involved. And we could see a great transformation. And there are communities whereby it's been quiet for years, but now peace is there, it's been liberated, and we could see that they have been back and they've been picking the pieces of their lives. Life is back. Some months ago, we were together with the governor. We went to some of the deep locations that people couldn't go for years, but we were there. We spent nights in Malamfatari, in Damasak, in Manguno, and we could see that indeed life is, is back. People are beginning to pick up the pieces of their lives. They're turning a new leaf and start afresh. And now the commissioner is coming to say that, of course, we've seen a marginal improvement in the security architecture. We could see that people are, sleeping with their 2 eyes closed. People are being resettled, and peace is thriving. You could see development. Borno State is not like before, Precious.
And interesting, you mentioned communities has been before now been deserted, because I was going to ask you about that. And now that you've mentioned it, at what scale are people returning? And what is the expectation of residents who are returning in terms of ensuring that this becomes the norm, safety and security becomes the norm in those places?
You see, these people have spent more than 10 years in IDP camps. You know, the life in IDP camp is not something they like, but they just have to, because their places are being deserted because of the insurgency. Now that peace is returning, they made a call that they willingly want to go back to, you know, their ancestral homes to pick up the pieces of their lives, because the government cannot continue to provide food for them. NGOs cannot continue to give them food. What they want to do now is to see how they can give them livelihood, how they could pick up the pieces of their lives, how farmers can be back, you know, on their farmlands, because a lot of these IDPs are farmers. And in the course of the insurgency, because of them living in IDP camps, according to the Ministry of State Ministry of Agriculture, Borno State has lost over 65,000 metric tons of food since the insurgency began. Now that they are making this move, and we see that there are improvements in security situation in their own communities, then we see the government, you know, moving them back to their ancestral homes. And I'm telling you, Precious, that there they live peacefully in Malamfaturi. Why I'm mentioning Malamfaturi is one of the deadliest area that continue to receive attacks by Boko Haram to soldiers. But now the place is being liberated. You know, not only IDPs from Borno, but there are IDPs living in Boso in Niger Republic that they are back to that places. Now, what government is doing is to see that it's you know, give them a sense of livelihood, and these people are back on their farmlands, picking up the piece of their lives. They can stay till 10 p.m., 11 p.m. outside. You know, it's a marginal improvement, and that is what the commissioner is now saying. Now that they are back, development is taking shape, basic amenities is being provided to them, and life is gradually coming to the home of peace.
And Jesse, you've been at the heart of all of this, and you've been following developments in Borno State for us, just how people are responding to the military, the efforts of the military, and people are returning back home. Stay on that for us and continue to bring us updates. Senior reporter Jesse Tafida live for us in Makurdi, Maiduguri, Borno State.